We're back on this Tuesday. Styphanie Duplissey with us from the Komen Race for the Cure. She brought the Survivor of the Year with her, Huffman Perry. So Kim, welcome. Good to have you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Stephanie, we're glad you're back.
Thank you. I know we're gearing up. It's October, Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Yes.
And, race is at the end of the month, October 29th. And I'm glad you guys had us because I want to introduce our Survivor of the Year. Miss Kim is here, and I'm going to let her speak a little bit about her journey.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Welcome, Kim.
Thank you. I want to start off by saying I appreciate you allowing me to share my story today.
No problem.
My story begins very early. I've survived breast cancer twice. And I was adopted as an infant. And in my mid-20s, I found my biological parents, and that's when I realized that breast cancer was a very unfortunate piece of my medical history. So my first breast cancer was diagnosed with absolutely no symptoms when my boys were young. And I truly believe that routine mammograms is what helped catch it early and save my life. I did have a mastectomy and I began chemo, but that treatment had to be stopped very early because I had a negative reaction. So I was very frightened. I left my job as a speech pathologist because of the reaction. But I also believe that God had a plan. A wonderful friend had taught me stained glass years ago, Sandra Castrillo. So we built a studio on my property, and I didn't have to work in the garage anymore. And I would go in the studio, and I wouldn't bring my medicine or anything that reminded me of cancer, and I would work with my glass. And I also began to go to the survivors group that's hosted by Cabrini Hospital. It's an open door policy. It doesn't matter where or when you were treated, it's open to everyone. I began a different regimen for treating the cancer because the chemo didn't work. And that's another thing that we can attribute to the research that Komen's been responsible for. Chemo is not your only option anymore. There's just lots of other options. I was well at that point for 5 more years, and then began this past year, which was a very difficult year. My husband was laid off from his offshore job, and 6 months after that, I noticed a very large lump overnight right below my sternum. And I was pretty afraid to go to the hospital. I thought they'd kind of laugh at me and tell me, quit being so paranoid and get out of there. But my neighbor did convince me to go. 4 days after that appointment, I was in surgery and diagnosed again.
Oh, no.
So because chemo didn't work very well the first time, I received about 40-something treatments of radiation on different parts of my body. And I'm cancer-free again.
Wonderful.
So, and I also attribute that to the research, to my awesome doctors, and to God. But right after my treatment ended, I lost 2 very special women in my life to breast cancer. Angie Gio-Roberts, who was truly an
big
angel.
luncheon in her name coming up on
Thursday.
Yes, on Thursday.
This Thursday. And Sandra Castrillo, the woman that taught me glass. And the reason that I do share that with you is because I had survived cancer twice, yet I forgot what resources were available. I forgot that the resources that are provided locally because of the big race and the proceeds, our resources don't end when our treatment ends. And there were a lot of things still available that could have helped me. This lady right here is one of our most awesome resources. She can guide you through every step of the journey. And some of the things I've learned through her and with my 2 diagnoses is that routine mammograms absolutely
you really touched
save
on that early,
lives.
how essential those routine mammograms are.
Both times, that is part of what caught it so early and allowed me to be treated even though the primary treatment failed. The second thing is if you are diagnosed, get a good support group. We have them available. And find a way to trick your cancer with your passion, be it your art, your faith, or your family.
Great ideas.
And then the third thing is we have resources, so use them.
Take advantage.
Take advantage of all of them. Our proceeds from this race stay right here. And the last thing is I hope to see everybody at the race on Saturday, October the 29th. We'll definitely be there.
Kim, thanks for coming by, sharing your story.
Thank you for having me.
Still can register for the race, right, Stephanie?
Absolutely.
Remind
Go online, KomenAcadiana.org. You can register, start a team, and I'll see you at the start line.
And we'll see Kim too.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being with us this morning on Good Day Sentinel. Thank you, Kim, for sharing your story.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks, ladies. We're going to check in and see what's going on in Vernon Parish in just a minute, but first our community calendar.